All right, let's move on to Group D. We have spent a ton of time on the first three groups. Group D finished up with France in first on 6 points, Australia in second on 6 points, Tunisia in third on 4 points, and Denmark in fourth on 1 point. Oh boy, this was a fun group to say the least. France obviously, I think, was the first team to qualify for the knockouts. They absolutely did what they needed to
Frauds.
do. Frauds, is that what you said?
Frauds.
Yeah, I
Fraud
don't know about
watch.
that. Um, but yeah, the rest of the group, Australia, Tunisia, Denmark, that was exciting. Uh, I mean, I just ask the obvious question? What happened to Denmark? What they finished bottom of the group in a group that I feel like a lot of people had them advancing out of.
They started off with a very, very tough Tunisia side who packed it in and said, "Come break us down, I dare you." And as much as you like to think about it, they really don't have the attacking creativity, right? They don't have a tricky striker or a tricky winger who can, you know, disrupt a defensive line. Scott Olsen had a terrible first game, by the way, which did not help them in their slightest. But you had Christian Eriksen, who's more of a pass maker than a playmaker. You had Dolberg, who's more of a threat in the box. Um, then behind him, you had Delaney and Hoiberg, who don't really create a lot. Again, we talk about Scott Olsen not being great. Against and again, we're talking more about Denmark here, but against the Tunisia side that defended very, very well. Um, very, very clear identity and what they wanted to do. Um, and they succeeded in what they planned out in doing. They got a point, they got themselves moving forward. You go up against France, you compete with them, possession, you play a game that you were comfortable with, a team that you beat twice in Nations League. Kylian Mbappe beat you. There's no shame in that. It happens. Again, though, it goes back to the cruelty of the cup, right? If you can't pick up points against teams that you're supposed to pick up against, the losses against teams that you're supposed to lose to hurt more. So you go into this Australia game now needing 3 points and some help, and they do the same thing, right? They sit in, they say, "Break us down, we dare you. We know you couldn't do it the first time." Um, Again, they go with a more attacking lineup, and the Matt Ryan pulls out a great game. They sit in and they're really, really confident in their defensive abilities. They do the job. Lecky picks up a goal, and then they say, "All right, I dare you, come break us down," because you don't have that guy to break us down. Um, you know, not a single person on that side do you think, okay, this team is, or this guy is somebody who I can give the ball to. He can do 400 step overs and put a guy on his butt and go. There's also not a lot of mobility in that front line. So Braithwaite's probably your most mobile player, right? But Dolberg, Yusuf Poulsen didn't get off the bench, which was shocking to us because, right, we thought he was going to be a main guy for them. Um, so there's not a ton of you know fluidity in that front line. It's very uh, methodic. So it was easy to defend against. And yeah, the Australians dealt with it. They picked up a goal and they said, "Come break us down. We dare you." They couldn't do it, and they went home.
I don't understand how this team. I'm gonna go to obviously one of my favorite stats here, our lovely XG stat. Um, Denmark produced a 1.4 against Tunisia, a zero point 0.6 against France, and a zero point 0.6 against Australia. This team was clearly not creating or threatening at all. How do you not just at least try out Yusuf Poulsen? How does he not get any minutes at all? How do you not just throw a little caution to the wind, let a guy who's proven that he can score just go out there and try to grab a goal?
Yeah, I don't know if he was hurt, if he picked up a knock in
Yeah, I mean
uh
maybe that's
it
that
had to have
had to.
been. because again, that's a guy that you rolled out in 2018, and he was your one of your main strikers. So I don't see anything here regarding his um yeah, nothing here regarding an injury for the World Cup. So it's a coach's decision, obviously. But yeah, the other thing too is Christian Eriksen did not create nearly as much as he probably should have.
Yeah. Looks like here he had like a .06 xG, I think. Yeah, that's total. So I think that's like expected goals for his shots and based on the, I guess, his assists. Trying to read this
Yeah,
as best as I can. So
and
yeah, I
that's
really
just
didn't
that's just
create
not
at
good
all.
enough.
No, Andreas
Yeah,
Christensen had more XG than that.
yeah. Well, because he scored.
Yeah, well, that helps.
If I'm looking here, I use key passes as a pretty good
Yeah, that's a good stat too.
indicator. Um, 3 key passes in 3 games.
For your playmaker, that's not great.
Correct. Um, Let me just double check something here. Yeah. Sorry, nine key passes in 3 games, three per.
Okay.
So a little bit better on that note, but it goes back to creating to the correct people, right? I can play you through and on goal 400 times a game with 900 xG, and you're going to score -3 goals. Now I can play Kylian Mbappe in the same amount of times, and I'm going to get 1,800 goals because the man is superhuman. It's about playing the right person, and not a knock on Christian Eriksen, but the players around him weren't up to the task. Now the issue with this team here is a lot of the guys that they were playing, um, bit on the older side. You got Simon Kjaer, 33, Hoiberg's 27, Christensen 26, Schmeichel 36. That was his last run. Eriksson at 30 with his health issues. Delaney at 31, Cornelius at 29, um, Braithwaite at 31. So you're going to see a lot of turnover on that side as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how they come back.
Yeah, 100%. Uh, anything that you want to talk about in terms of Australia qualifying?
I picked the wrong team. Anybody who watched the Group D preview knows that I was deciding between them and Tunisia to go through, and I picked the wrong team, obviously, and very nearly topped the group, didn't they?
Yeah,
Um,
just goal difference.
yeah, and it was 4, right? If they have a better showing in that first game against France, they make that 2-1 instead of 4-1. This is way closer than it needs to be. They showed out, man. They showed out. Matt Ryan did Matt Ryan things. Um, and really, they outside of that France game, 2 clean sheets,
Yeah, they were locked out of
massive.
defense.
Yeah, and really, they went toe to toe with Argentina too. Now they didn't generate a ton, but they didn't get blown out, right? They went up
Yeah.
against a team that are a lot of people's favorites to win the World Cup and took them to a 1 goal.
Yeah,
Yeah, much more impressive than I think a lot of people, again, including myself, thought they were going to put on.
yeah. They found ways to get the job done. It was very Greg-esque in that it was just like be scrappy, find a way to win the game, and that's what they did.
100%.